oh no, here he goes again, attacking the Green Party. But honestly, this is a point where they deserve it. They really, really do. And even if this had not been a general election, this goes into one of my many, many continuous talking points that I have been trying to explain to you guys on the left numerous times. That on certain subjects, on certain policy areas, the left is really, really, really bad. And I mean really bad. So I recently, before Christmas, had a conversation, with Kevin Logan, and I talked about, how bad I think the left is uh, at business policy. I still think that, you know, great when they come to talking about workers' rights and advocating for that. What about business? The things that run the economy. What are you going to say to someone who might own a IT company with 10 people in it and he employs? What have you got to say to him? How are you going to earn his vote? How are you going to help him run his business better? How are you going to create an environment where someone else can go and create their own business? Unfortunately, the left does not have a lot of answers for this. And even worse when it comes to areas of foreign and defense policy, especially foreign policy, because you've only got to start looking, especially what started when the Ukraine war kicked off, of where you had a lot of lefties saying, this war's never going to happen. This is just American propaganda. Well, here we are in 2024. Look what's going on in Ukraine. So before we get more into this, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, comment down below as well. That helps. And of course, the Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, the Pony Club. And it is Pony Club Day as well. So there will be a Pony Club video out for all you YouTube channel subscriptions and of course, the Patreon people as well. So as always, thank you very much to all the people who do help and support the channel. So, what happened? Why are we talking about this? Well, of course, we're talking about this. This is Lewis Goodall's interview with one of the co-Green leaders, Carol Dania. And honestly, she really comes across as out of her depth. Really comes across as completely out of her depth. The idea of what she was trying to get across in this interview, that if we get rid of our nuclear weapons, we do not become a target. Okay, first, that is really just such a bad way to think about the complexities of the geopolitical complexities that exist out there in the world. This is why I have said continuously, I will keep to say that, because it is true, the Green Party are not a serious political party. And when they do stuff like this, it just proves my point even more. So, if we get rid of our nuclear weapons, Putin is not going to target us. Really? You're going to trust Putin on that? I mean, this also leads into further complications because, again, take what happened to Ukraine. In the 90s, when it first became a country, the US in particular said, you must give up your nuclear weapons. If you do not, we will make you an international pariah. You'll never participate in global economy, trade, etc. So give over nuclear weapons, and we will sign an agreement to promise to protect you. And of course, we were part of that agreement as well at the time. And of course, look what happened. And it does raise an interesting question. And it would be interesting to see what she would respond to that question if she was asked, do you think that Russia would have invaded Ukraine if it had nuclear weapons? Because I don't think it would have. And this is part of why this war in particular, why we must continue to support Ukraine in this regard, helps for nuclear deproliferation. Because now you have other countries that do not have nuclear weapons with bigger countries and armies that are, next door to them thinking, maybe it might be good to have, just a couple of nuclear weapons on hand just in case. We've seen talks in Germany about should they pursue their own nuclear weapon program. Now, of course, it's a hotly debated topic in Germany, but those talks during this conflict have, flared up again. You've seen Japan, similar topic come up as well. South Korea, bear in mind, they've obviously got, North Korea bearing down their throat, and they've got nuclear weapons. And especially how you've seen Kim Jong-un act in the past couple of months, saying that, Korean unification will only come through conquest. Well, maybe, we should be a bit worried about that. But then the conversation only got even worse because she then decided to compare it to knife crime. That young kids who carry knives are very often the victims of their own knife, to which the interviewer rightly then said, well, hold on, are we going to nuke ourselves? It was the worst analogy you could possibly use in this conversation. But it still did not answer the original point, which, again, I think is complete fantasy politics, that if we somehow get rid of our nuclear weapons, we ain't a target. And she did bring up, of course, that other countries in NATO don't have their own nuclear weapons. Why? Especially in the UK, they pretty much rely on, first of all, America, because America is sort of a lend-lease program with their nuclear weapons. Germany is part of that. But we and France are the only two countries in Europe that sort of have our own, nuclear weaponry. And of course, we have seen conversations about
countries don't have nuclear weapons. So this would be a case of the UK joining.
Should we expand our nuclear umbrella? And this would mean that we don't put nukes in countries like the Baltics, but what happens is we give them that protection under our nuclear weapons. That is a conversation that has also happened that we've seen come up as well during this conversation. There's you can just go into this conversation just so much, but it just goes to show you how out of her depth she really was, and just how bad the Green Party are on this. Because wasn't that too long ago, we were talking about the Green Party's bizarre way they were going to end the Ukraine war by somehow doing a deal that America would remove its long-range missiles from Poland, and then Putin would remove his nukes that he put in Belarus, and somehow peace in Ukraine. The Green Party is not a serious political party. That interview proves it. When it comes to some of the big questions of the day, they do not seem to have answers. And this in particular, I think, really exposes that. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Like I say, leave a comment down below as well. Click the like, click the share button on your way out. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and all the other stuff that helps support the channel as well. So until then, as always, we'll see you all next time.